Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to continue the topic of class 12's haloalkanes and haloarenes where we discussed in the previous video about the stereochemical aspects of nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in the previous video we had discussed about chirality of a molecule and chiral center of a carbon atom and chirality of a carbon atom also. And also we discussed about the optical activity of a given substance or a solution when it is subjected to a plain polarized light. Okay, so now we are going to continue some steps regarding that the same. So in the previous video we discussed about how we define a given compound as chiral or achiral compound, right? So now let us consider our example where we have written on the board with this structure. I am just rewriting. Instead of writing all this in a wedge and dash bonds, I will just write in a simple straight bonds. So that is, if you take carbon with chlorine, hydrogen, CH3 group and OH group, and we are placing a mirror here. So let us say this compound is plus rotatory or dextrorotatory. Okay, so this is plus rotatory or dextrorotatory. So if you observe this, so this is the structure of the given compound. Okay, so OH, CH3 group, Cl and hydrogen atom. So if you take its mirror image, for consideration, so that will be like this. So the mirror image of the compound will be like this. Okay, so if I write this compound as such, so the mirror image will be like this. Okay, so here what is happening here is carbon atom is reflecting the OH atom, hydrogen, methyl group and Cl group. So when we have two isomers or two compounds which are optically active and has same amount of magnitude of rotation of plane polarized light but in opposite direction. So let us say if this compound is considered, this dextrorotatory compound rotates the plane polarized light for about 70 degree. If it rotates for about theta 70 degree, this will rotate the plane polarized light in minus 70 degree. It rotates the plane polarized light in minus 70 degree, and these two are called optical isomers. These two are called optical isomers. So optical isomers are the compound which have same molecular formula but differ in the spatial arrangement of atoms present in them attached to the carbon atom, and are those which have different plane polarized light rotation. They rotate the plane polarized light in different directions. One rotates in dextro and the other rotates the plane polarized light in levorotatory form. So if you take these two isomers in equal ratio, of concentration, let's say 50% of dextrorotatory and 50% of levorotatory compound, and combine those two and check its optical rotation, what happens is that optical rotation will be equal to 0. This is because when we consider two optical active isomers of a compound and we consider equal concentration of those two, then we get a compound which is called its racemic mixture. So racemic mixture is a mixture of two optical isomers. Racemic mixture is the mixture of two optical isomers of equal concentration which rotates the plane polarized light in opposite direction with respect to one another. So this complete phenomenon is called racemization. This complete phenomenon of mixture is called racemization. So racemization is a process in which we mix equal concentrations of D and L isomer of a optically active compound. So if you mix D and L isomer of optically active compound for equal ratio, then that compound which you will get is called the racemic mixture, and the phenomenon is called racemization. And these two compounds which are optically active isomers are in general called as enantiomers. These two are called enantiomers. Enantiomer is nothing but the two optically active isomers of a given compound. So the two optically active isomers of a compound is called enantiomer of one another, and its mixture with 50-50 ratio of concentration is found to form called a compound called racemic mixture, which is denoted by the symbol plus minus with a prefix, or it is denoted as DL, which has both dextro and levorotatory and has both positive and negative optical rotation. So next topic is about retention in configuration, inversion in configuration, and then we have racemic mixtures of compound. So what is this inversion in configuration and retention in configuration? So we'll discuss that now. In the previous videos we have discussed about SN1 mechanism and SN2 mechanism and how retention and inversion are found in case of our compound formation during a SN1 or SN2 mechanism. Now let us consider a reaction in which we are treating a optically active alkyl group, alkyl halide group, let us say carbon, which is attached to one CH3, one hydrogen, one chlorine, and the other C2H5. Okay, so in this case we have a CH3 group, C2H5 group, Cl and hydrogen. Okay, so clearly we can say this carbon is secondary carbon, right? This carbon is secondary carbon, so therefore this is a secondary alkyl halide group. So this secondary alkyl halide group can undergo both SN1 and SN2 mechanism, right? The secondary alkyl halide group can undergo both SN1 and SN2 mechanism. So now we'll discuss this compounds SN1 and SN2 mechanism, but how they are forming a given compound which has a particular rotation or inversion, retention or inversion in configuration. For that, let us say we have our C2H5 in this plane, Cl in our same plane, but hydrogen in a dash bond. Okay, so let us say this is our initial concentration of butyl chloride, 2-chlorobutane. This compound is 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. So butyl chloride. So this is 2-chlorobutane or 2-butyl chloride. So if you consider this compound, so this is some, let us say it has a particular configuration. Let us say we have it as plus configuration. It is a dextrorotatory compound. So now on the left we are going to carry out SN2 mechanism for this reaction. On the right we will be carrying out SN1 mechanism. So SN1 over here and SN2 on this side. Okay. So now we will observe what happens for SN1 or SN2 mechanism of this given reaction. So now if SN1 is happening, SN2 is happening for this reaction, that is we are adding a nucleophile OH minus. So as we know, SN2 mechanism takes place in a single step, and OH minus attacks the carbon chlorine atom, attacks the carbon attached to halogen, attacks the carbon which is attached to halogen atom from its opposite direction. So therefore this OH minus will be attacking from this side. So if it is attacking from this side, this chlorine leaves the bond like this. So this is related by forming an intermediate which is given by the structure CCl, CH3. So while attacking, OH minus is attacking a carbon atom, it forms a partial new bond and the chlorine atom is forming a partially broken bond. We are leaving behind this CH3, H and C2H5 in a plane. We have discussed this. I hope you have understood that video. If not, go through that video once again and then look out for this explanation. So these three will be in plane and we have a dotted bond which is breaking of Cl atom, and we have a new bond for that is forming of OH atom. Okay, once this is formed, what happens is chloride molecule will leave the carbon atom. As a result, we get the inversion in configuration, that is these three atoms will be moved away from the OH group, resulting in a geometry H, C2H5, CH3, H, C2H5 and OH. So this is the geometry which we have got. In order to get a better idea, what I'll do is, instead of taking H on the dash bond, so let us keep H on the dash bond itself. So if you observe over here, so the hydrogen which was present on the left side of the CH3 bond is now present on the right side of the CH3 bond. Okay, it was present first initially at the left side, now it is forming at the right side. So here what happens is there will be an inversion in configuration. So which results in, instead of forming a plus 2 butyl alcohol, it forms minus 2 butanol. It forms minus 2 butanol. That is, there is a complete change in configuration which results in anti-rotation of our compound. Okay, so this is in SN2 mechanism. As we know, here inversion takes place. Here we observe inversion of configuration. That is, the parent reactant has a different geometry configuration, whereas when compared to the product. Okay, for the SN1 mechanism, if you observe for the SN1 mechanism, it involves formation of carbocation. Okay, so it involves formation of carbocation. First, let us write the carbocation, and then we can relate its forming compound. So carbocation is formed when we lose our chloride atom. Right, when we lose our chloride atom, we form a carbocation. So that gives us H and C2H5 with a positive charge. Okay. This carbocation which is formed by the SN1 mechanism will not be in a two plane. This is an sp2 hybridized carbon atom and it will lie in one plane. So these three bonds is written as such as like this: CH3, H, C2, H5, okay, with a plus charge. So the three CH3 groups will be present in one plane. The three groups or atoms are attached, which are attached to the carbon atom, will be lying in a single plane. So therefore, what we can observe is, if you consider this as the plane of carbon, if you consider carbon over here, one CH3 molecule will be in this side, hydrogen on the back, CH3 into C2H5. So these all molecules will be in a one place. So if you consider here, CH3 will be on the top, H here, C2H5 here, and carbon at the center. So this will all lie in one plane. So when we treat our nucleophile for this reaction, when we attack OH minus on the carbocation, it can take place in two steps. It can take place in two types. One, the OH minus can attack from the front side, or it can attack from the back side. Either it can attack from front or it can attack from the back, which results in formation of two or three products especially. So during an SN1 mechanism, we observe three products. During an SN1 mechanism, we observe three products where one will be the retention in configuration, that is OH minus ion will attack the side which is the chlorine atom has left. Okay, so let us say the chlorine has left from the front face. Chlorine has left from the front face. We'll get CH3, H, C2H5, OH. So this is a new bond. Or it can form a different compound, that is inversion in configuration, like CH3, H, C2H5 and OH. So these two. So it has one in which it is completely forming a positive type of compound, that is D isomer, and in the other one it is forming an L isomer. And the third product is, it might form a composition of both D and L isomer of 50-50 composition. So it can form one more isomer where it has a mixture of both D and L isomer, which is nothing but the racemic mixture of two optical racemic mixture. So that is, it can form both with 50-50 concentration. So one, it can form complete retention in configuration, or it can form either inversion in configuration, or in the third case it can form equal amount of racemic mixture of D isomer and L isomer. So these are the complete stereochemical aspects which you have to know in order to understand the chemical reactions of a nucleophilic substitution reaction. So I hope you have understood the uses of stereochemical aspects for nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes. So until this, what we have discussed is all depending upon the nucleophilic substitution reaction. We have two more types of reactions of haloalkane. One is reaction of haloalkane with metals, and the second one is elimination reaction. Okay, we have two more reactions we'll discuss those reactions in the next video. If you have understood everything which I have explained here, that's good. If you have any doubt, please do comment down below, and thank you for watching.